Do you think that someone like, say, Elon Musk, for instance, would be supporting this dude specifically for his rhetoric?
I think Elon Musk would support somebody like Donald Trump because Elon Musk doesn't have any knowledge or information about the political system in the United States. He's largely uneducated about political affairs, both domestic in the U.S. and internationally. And because Trump seems like an epic guy that owns the libs, and I think Elon Musk has been attacked a lot of the times unfairly from people on the left. So as a reaction to that, he supports Donald Trump.
How would you know that he's unknowledgeable given the fact that he's basically, a government contractor in a sense? I don't think he gets more knowledgeable than that. You'd have to understand something about politics, and you have to understand something that is of worth to the government. By that extent, also understand the government in order to actually provide something of worth to it, right?
No. If you're a government contractor, all that means is that you offer some good or service that the government wants to buy. Doesn't necessarily mean you understand anything about
Yes, but you'd have to understand that government.
You just have to understand. You just have to understand how to produce a good or service that the government might want to consume. Just because you know how to build rockets and the government might want to have an interest in rockets doesn't mean you know anything about politics or domestic affairs.
Well, you'd have to in order to secure a deal, no?
At what stage in securing a deal with the government do you think you have to know anything about politics?
Also, why was Obama there at the launch site? I think maybe there was something that's very political about that too. Obama was literally there.
I have zero interest in talking about Obama right now.
Now, what you've heard there is a gentleman that goes by the name of Andrew Dittman, and he is totally not Elon Musk himself, even though there is a clip in that stream, which I couldn't find because it's a 2-hour stream. But he then talks about rockets, and he says, like, the type of fuel that I use, and many such other hints where Andrew Dittman, again, is totally not Elon Musk, even though he has the same speaking patterns, he's got the same vocal inflections, he believes in the same things that Elon Musk believes. He seems to defend Elon Musk. Sometimes he talks about Elon Musk in first person. And as you can see here, people have also ran biometric voice identification, doing an analysis comparing Elon Musk's voice to Adrian Dittman. They found that while not impossible, it is highly unlikely that they are different people. When you stop to consider that Andrew Dittman at Elon to tell him he was a good dad, you really get a sense for justice of how lonely and insecure you are. According to this poster, Elon is a sad individual. Now, the accusations have mounted up, and eventually Mr. Dittman has tried to debunk the fact that he is Elon Musk. They both hosted an X hangout together in Twitter Spaces or whatever it's called. And they also pointed out that, look, while I was talking here, Elon Musk was streaming Diablo, and therefore I can't be him. However, people that are criticizing this explanation are simply saying, like, do you want us to believe that the richest man on earth is unable to pull a cheap card trick in order to fool people that his alternative account isn't his own? And obviously, it's up for what anyone thinks. But if Adrian Dittman is actually Elon Musk, it would be very interesting. First off, I would understand why he would do it. Take into account that he is the CEO of many companies, and almost everything that he says online is under extreme scrutiny, which means that he can say something dumb and then wake up the next morning to see that the Tesla shares have fallen. In fact, I think he actually got into legal trouble over stuff that he said online, and he was unable to post without a supervisor for a while. And so it would make sense that he would have an alternative account. This is not unheard of for many public people and influential individuals to actually do have a sock puppet account. And so if we are to entertain the idea, it becomes really interesting when we see what Adrian Dittman has posted on 4chan. Here are some insights into how posting on Twitter works. Apparently, graphic content is permitted, according to Adrian Dittman. It just has to be politically relevant and in good taste. No one wants to see snuff content on their feed. Elon is a very liberal person about it, and some footage crosses the line. But he has been very decent about the last couple happenings and allowing the uncensored footage to be hosted on X. Big difference in reporting news and happenings to fellow friends and disruptive the feed to discourage users from returning to the platform. There must be a balance. So in other words, he is saying that if you are posting gore in order to shock and scare individuals off the platform, that is something that will get you banned. But if you're just posting gore in order to show a recent happening, like a news event, war footage probably, I assume certain terrorist attacks where, you know, you mark the content as sensitive, but you allow people to see what actually happened for news purposes, that is actually, according to Elon Musk, something that he allows. And when deciding if something is allowed versus what it isn't allowed, he apparently claims that he skews the line over allowing rather than banning. Another one of these 4chan posts say that please do not conflate conservative Republicans with the alternative right, neo-Nazis, or purely hateful incels. Elon is a father who gets lots of sex. That's interesting. He will never stop to the lows of anger and posting emotionally, like a lot of people expect him to. HB1 existed before Trump and is not going anywhere, nor should it. Imagine getting pissed about someone dropping water in the sink when your basement is flooded. The illegals are going to be out of here. Only the top 1% will get a chance to earn citizenship if they contribute and grow to our GDP and economy. We are not losing in that situation. We are still getting the criminals out of here. Elon is a friend. Don't forget that. The sudden anger is so inorganic. It reminds me of the Mr. Beast outrage, where people hated just because it got a little bit of traction. Everyone forgot about it and heard his side of the story. There is a smear campaign going on, and I will call it as I see it. So again, if this is actually Elon Musk, and he is speaking as if expecting people not to know it's him, it's very likely that what he is saying here is what he genuinely believes. And if that is the case, well, I don't think it's a surprise that the tech bros are globalists. So, like, obviously, a CEO like Elon Musk would be in favor of the HB1 visas because it makes his business a lot more cheaper to run. But what it is also interesting is that he actually does want to crack down on the illegal immigration. Like, he does believe that Trump is going to protect the southern border. And he makes the point that the HB1 visas existed before Trump. So, like, if people would make a difference between what a vision is and what the goal is, they would be more on his side. So, like, a vision is, all right, you want America to become isolationist Japan. Like, well, that's a vision, right? Like, that can happen in 50, 60 years. The goal is, like, what can be done right now in the current administration? And Elon Musk says, well, the goal is to stop illegal immigration. The other thing that we can notice here is that he knows who Mr. Beast is. And he was also following the YouTube drama with Mr. Beast. And another interesting thing is that he believes that the outrage that is sparked against him is inorganic. He is believing that it's a couple of accounts that are making people upset. Like, basically, he understands that what he did upsets what he considers to be neo-Nazis, alternative right, or hateful incels that are not part of the large MAGA movement. And a lot of agitators, right? Like, not bots, but like people that are agitating the public, are causing him to lose face. Again, this is like what I understand from what he is saying. I'm just trying to get into his mindset. And he doesn't understand what the political goals of these people are because, like, if your basement is flooded, why do you care about the H-1B visas, which, according to him, is just water in the sink? And again, yeah, like, his focus seems to be on getting the GDP to fix the economy and remove the criminals. Like, this is what he's saying here. Another post here shows Adrian getting very emotional while he is defending Elon, saying, that was debunk dipshit. Elon used a very small dose in a medically regulated environment, and even if it did increase his dosage, asking someone about their personal medical condition is fucked up and it violates the HIPAA and other moral writings on the wall. It is irrelevant. To people defaming him, I hope you are enjoying yourselves. Our laws are going to change soon. Cybercrime will finally be enforced properly in this nation. You are a maggot, and Elon has done more in his 20s than you will ever do in your entire pathetic life. Go take some painkillers and get back to the trailer with your alcoholic sister. Now, putting aside the harsh words and criticism that Adrian Dittman seems to throw at Elon Musk's detractors, if you want to focus on that, then go on Xitter, because apparently that's what all the midwits are focusing on. What I find relevant and what I actually find interesting and of public opinion is the fact that he claims that our laws in the country are going to change soon and cybercrime is going to be taken seriously. That's the thing that I find interesting. How? What will change? Is this going to affect internet anonymity? Are there going to be adding additional laws? Even if you're not a US citizen, this may actually affect the entire internet. And so this is something that I actually find very interesting. And I guess if Adrian Dittman is Elon Musk, we'll probably find out in the next couple of months what he meant by this. This is also very interesting post. No one is going to risk losing their X account in an IP ban just to troll Elon. Email and phone verification is a pain in the ass. If you do not like his free speech platform, don't use it. Free speech does not equal spamming, gore, and disrupting the site for other users. It's not tolerated here, along with raiding and doxing, so why would it be okay on X.com? And this is also very interesting. First of all, Elon seems to severely underestimate the trolls on the internet if he thinks that no one is going to risk to get an IP ban by trolling him. Because first off, yes, they would. Secondly, I have seen it done multiple times in front of my eyes. Like, for instance, Elon was talking with a person and then a troll comes in and asks him, answer the question honestly. I really want to know. Is it because you abused your son that he transitioned? I mean, the guy got banned. Everyone was like, what the fuck? You know, why are you bringing the man's children into the conversation? But I would think that after such interactions, Elon would be a little less innocent about the internet. Like, he would understand, no, actually, there are trolls on the internet, and yes, they would risk losing their X account. Not to mention, he probably doesn't understand that there are so many individuals that may be teenagers or may not have anything to lose, or they don't really care about the Twitter account. So, yeah, I found his assessment of the situation to be hilarious. But the second one that's interesting is in regards to him understanding 4chan, right? So again, if Andrew Dittman is indeed Elon Musk, he talks about how free speech does not equal spamming, gore, and disrupting the site for other users. It is not tolerated here. So this would mean that he actually understands the culture of 4chan. He actually understands the rules, what is and what isn't allowed, in order to make this comparison. And this is also something that he mentioned in another Twitter space. I'm talking about Dittman, by saying that these crackheads should be happy that they're having a platform, because what they can say here, they cannot say on Facebook. And I think this is actually true, because Jack Dorsey actually banned a lot of these people. Like, Jack Dorsey's Twitter was a ban house. And when Elon Musk came back, he allowed people to return. And I don't agree with his sparking out over the H-1B visas. I don't agree with what he is doing. But de facto, in 2025, I would say that compared to the other mainstream platforms, Twitter does allow for more free speech. And so my personal solution is, when I want to shit talk Elon Musk, or when I want to talk about the H-1B visas or other things, I do it on other platforms when it's allowed. On Twitter, I do the stuff that I can't do on other platforms, like use gamer words and so on. And also talk about other things. Like, for instance, you can talk on Twitter about LGBT issues, you can talk on Twitter about Islam, you can talk on Twitter about many other stuff that you can't talk on other platforms, and vice versa. it's not the future that I want. Like, this is not my ideal society. Like, I prefer the way things used to be before 2016. I like the wild west of the internet, where you could go and have whatever political opinion you wanted on every platform, and the only thing was, like, respect the mods, right? Like, don't be a cheeky little shit to the mods, don't spam, don't impersonate people, and don't commit criminal activity. But other than that, in 2016, yeah, like, you could go crazy. You could say whatever you wanted and not get banned. But I realized that I live in the world. I'm not a person living in a fantasy land. I'm not an idealist. Like, I just know what the tools are, and I use the tools that are given to me. And so the reality is that, yeah, I think overwhelmingly the way X has shifted is a net benefit towards free speech. It's not perfect, but if it was under Jack Dorsey, it would have been much worse. Now, with that out of the way, will it stay the way it is? I'm not very hopeful. The handling of the H-1B visa debate seems to have been incredibly negative. Removing the blue check marks is something that concerns me, because I'm hearing the exact same arguments that I heard when Jack Dorsey did it. So this is actually how Twitter started. You had Jack Dorsey coming out and saying, like, this is the free speech platform. You come to Twitter, you can talk truth to power. And then he took away Milo Yiannopoulos' blue checkmark. And the conversation was with people defending Jack Dorsey, saying, like, no, he just removed the checkmark. That's not censorship. It's just like not having a checkmark doesn't mean that he can't say whatever he wants. You know, like, his reach may be limited, but, like, at the end of the day, he can still say, he can still talk. And now I'm seeing the exact same arguments used to defend Elon Musk's decision to take Laura Luber's checkmark. The exact same talking points, like the exact same stuff. And so, to me, it's concerning, because I have to wonder if this is side of things to come. Like, we already went that road back in 2016, so, like, have we just reset the clock and we're all living in 2016, you know, except there's a war with the Russians and there's more H-1B visas. I don't know. But what I do know is that this is 4chan, right? So even if Mr. Dittman would be Elon Musk, it's still 4chan. So, like, anyone can post anonymously. Of course, you guys get to make your own opinions. I just presented the controversy as is. And my personal take is that, at least from what I've saw on Twitter, I do believe that Andrew Dittman, I personally think that he is Elon Musk. Otherwise, there are two Elon Musks on Earth. I don't know if the Earth can stomach such levels of autism. What I think about his behavior, however, I gotta say that a lot of rich people are very eccentric. And instead of him doing what other rich people are doing, attending spiritual dinners, traveling to Epstein Island in order to meet interesting people, he seems to be spending his time, his free time at least, playing Diablo, Path of Exile 2, and being edgy on 4chan. Now, granted, he does seem to have an inflated ego, but, like, let's be honest, if you are the richest man in the world and was launching rockets into space, and you are siring, how many kids does he have? I would probably think that you'd have an inflated ego as well. So, yeah, no, I'm genuinely becoming more of a fanboy after seeing this shit, because he is so fucking relatable. You know, there are so many politicians that fake accents, or they do whatever they can in order to seem relatable. But if this is genuinely Elon, then he is just like me, you know? So I definitely find it interesting that one of the richest men in the world has such banal hobbies. Apparently, he may even be a furry, or at least furry curious. Like, again, you know, so many things that are interesting. However, you know, he is a man that is capable of shaping world politics now. He has associated himself with the MAGA movement and the Trump campaign. And I do believe that what he is saying is very important, because he can actually shape the future of not just the United States, but the rest of the world. And so I am very interested in what he has to say. But let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.